Following months of ambiguity, the UK appears set to enable Huawei's telecoms machinery to be portion of the nation's 5G networks, in several limitations. The go would put the UK at prospect in the US, that has been pressed some nations to ban use of the China company's kit on safety perspectives. It could as well reason tensions in Australia, that recent year locked its networks of with Huawei's 5G pinion. The nation as well prohibited else China company, ZTE. How anxiety yet preoccupies lot safety officials' minds, with lot of our crucial infrastructure facilities, of force stations to automatic transportation, is potential to be dependent on the following generation communication technique. Quite, down there is a faith how restrictive Huawei's machinery to specific components of the UK's web tool, how the hazard can be controlled. At the cardiac of the question, down there seems to be a crucial discrepancy. Canberra and Washington trust how down there are basic differences among 5G and 4G, that indicate an direct ban is the wiser selection. To do feeling of all the, it is cost studying at first why Australia came to its finding. But it is cost proverb up front line how, for its portion, Huawei has rejected it would always trade off a customer's web since it had been orderly to do so by Beijing. The cause for the, it added, was how the relation among two clear bits of the web would changing. The at first portion, this mandrel, it told was wherever the largest susceptible functions happen, consisting unit identification, vote and information routing and invoicing. The other, this end, called to machinery consisting antennae and basis stations how is utilized to seize the wireless signals released by cordless devices and email them in the mandrel. The key sentence in a government declaration later explainable, this difference among the mandrel and the end will vanish above period. One of the nation's spy chiefs, Mike Burgess, after advanced on the proverb how as 5G technologies ripe, the waiting was how the difference among the end and mandrel collapses since susceptible functions would start to go external of the secured portion. Portion of the cause for the, key explainable, would be to get benefit of the reduced latencies 5G giving, the lag among producing a team and receive a answer. The, for sample, could assist do it secure to straight surgery micro-robots or remotely controlled vehicles of long. Yet, Mr. Burgess added, the ensuing consequences could be terrible if the 5G kit was later discredited and utilized to install an assault. And Huawei was deliberate a business how could be object to extrajudicial directions of a overseas by the government how dispute in Australia Act. In some speech, the terror was how it could be enforced to promote a Beijing-mounted cyber attack. The Australians reason never confident lot elder figures implicated in the UK's telecoms production. Time they take down there are issues in with Huawei's kit in the mandrel, they trust it would yet be comparatively secure to use its wireless accessing web, RAN, machinery, that allows person devices to cordless communicate to portable information networks via wireless signals transferred above the ether. Huawei's RAN pinion is seen to be more than progressive rather than how of its competitive environment, Nokia and Ericsson, at making things love maximizing the sum of information how can be processed at one day. The China company as well has a repute for creature more than readily to ensure customized solutions. But crucially, down there is as well a faith how down there is no cause for the difference among the mandrel and RAN to vanish above period, so length as the networks implicated go on to honor standards how determine a boundary among the couple. Of the key features of 5G is the capacity for, spread this mandrel more than widely through the common web infrastructure facilities, explainable Vodafone UK's head technique official Scott Miner. Yet, how mandrel web is yet secured of the wireless basis stations by safety gateways and capabilities. Down there has, yet, been several unwillingness to publicly contravene the Australians. Of a cleanly engineering spot of type, geographical location matters in 5G RAM, Dr. Ian Fee explainable. Since you include these really fast turnover communication, you are bounded on wherever specific things can constructively be, bounded by the rate of lighting. UK and Australia include really various geographies, so our laydowns will be really various to Australia's laydowns. So, we may include precisely the identical engineering insight, but go to really various conclusions. Washington has been guideline the campaigning versus Huawei, both of in regulation of manufacturing the instance on the imaginary safety risk it poses, but as well chasing legislative cases approving the company has betrothed in system intelligent characteristic identity theft and scam, claims how Huawei denies. Over the monthly, one of CEO Trump Card's top cybersecurity officials done it precise how the US believes it is not secure to use Huawei kit in any portion of a 5G web. We type down there to be no pertinent difference among the mandrel and the end of a 5G web, told the U.S. Country Division's envoy Robert Strayer. How difference had existed in 4G networks since you mainly had a clever mandrel, wherever the intellect and the software program ran, and the end was mute, since it was fair for the transfer of information to the mandrel. In a 5G web, lot of the clever computational power will go to the end. Proper to the configure of 5G networks in computational at the end and trust on those networks for the regulation of crucial services, untrusted machinery should not be permitted in any portion of the web, he responded. The UK, Australia and US are three members of an intellect sharing agreement named the Five Eyes Association. The some two members are New Zealand, that has as well prohibited one of its networks of with Huawei's 5G machinery time it continues to evaluates the risks implicated, and Canada, that is yet on the fencing. A judgment by the UK to enable at low fractional use of Huawei's kit could promote New Zealand and Canada to do also, as send a broad alarm out to some countries how down there is no cause for indirect prohibition. But Washington has alerted down there could be repercussions. So Secretariat of Country Pompeo has told, if the hazard exceeds the limit for the joint state, we just won't be capable to stake how data any much longer. Several experts are not confident, yet, how the US would very halt dividing intellect. I am amazed at several of the rhetorical of the US, annotated Professor Alan Forrester, of Surrey College. If susceptible data is creature gone through any social web, you include to suppose who is trying to halt it. Therefore, you stratum on your own safety to a standard relevant to the susceptibility of the information creature transferred. This more anxiety in 5G is the capacity for destruction of the web, not definitely spying. Official UK judgment on Huawei is yet not anticipated before following the Division for Digital Civilization, Print and Kind of Sports shares the results of its own overview in the question in the nation's domestic safety justice. In the meanwhile, Huawei is not take whatever for given. We greet accountable how the UK by the government is driving to enabling Huawei to assist construct the UK's 5G networks, told a representative for the company. Time we wait a official by the government we will go on to job company operatively in the by the government Ofcom and the production and their testimony based attitude to web safety.